Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome to a bit of a weird video for the channel. This is actually something people have been asking me to do for quite some time, and since I have a very limited amount of time today to actually do anything productive in terms of recording and such, I thought I would finally get around to this for the next 12 or so minutes. This is the free personality test. There will be a link in the description below if you wish to take it yourself, and this is from the 16personalities.com. This is apparently one of the better personality tests, and it's always interesting when you watch other YouTubers, well, kind of do this sort of thing. I find it to be weird because answers are not always what you expect, so being that I am in fact a YouTuber, which is a weird thing still, let's see what this is like. Hopefully you enjoy. So, the very first question then. You find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people. I agree with that pretty mildly. I always find first introductions to be quite awkward, but after that, I'm very, very happy. If someone else introduces them to myself, then all is well. You often get so lost in thoughts that you ignore or forget your surroundings. Literally yesterday, I walked into the door into my living room because I was thinking about recording something, after which I then walked into my chair, so yes, I agree. You try to respond to your emails as soon as possible and cannot stand a messy inbox. I disagree with that to a medium level. I am not the most prompt when it comes to things like that. You find it easy to stay relaxed and focused even when there is some pressure. Actually, yes. I find that I do my best work when I'm very heavily pressured, so... But saying that, there is also a breaking point with me where it becomes such a big issue I just stop doing all work and sort of break down in that regard. So, medium again. You do not usually initiate conversations, that is very true for me. I prefer someone else to talk to me first, although it depends how much I know the person. I'm one of those people who can talk for hours if I know someone well enough, but if I'm still just getting to know someone, I tend to be a bit more meek around them, so... it's weird because it's so situational. Let's go with that. Trying to stay away from neutral as much as possible. You rarely do something just out of sheer curiosity. Massive disagree there. I do things all the time because I'm just a derp, so next. You feel superior to other people. No, that's such a horrible mindset to have, so no. Well, it really depends on who you're talking about. Sometimes, yes, I feel I'm slightly better than someone, but very, very rarely. And it's normally in one field of expertise or something, so... Medium disagree. Oh, heavy disagree. No, I'm normally jealous of other people, so no. Being organized is more important to you than being adaptable. Here's the thing. I'm not very adaptable, but I would say that being adaptable is more important, so it's going to be weird how I answer this. I'm normally quite organised, and I have trouble quickly adapting to things, if there's a sudden change of plan, for instance. So, because, okay, is more important to you than being adaptable, so mildly no, because of how weird that is to me. You usually are highly motivated and energetic. No, I have short bursts of energy and motivation, which was both good and bad back at university. Very good, oddly enough, for lab work, though. So, that would be a... low-level disagree again, just because I am normally somewhat motivated, but it's normally large bursts, so usually is the wrong word there. Winning a debate matters less to you than making sure no one gets upset. Well, if I'm having a debate, I want to win that debate, so strongly disagree. No, if I'm having an argument or something, I want to win the argument. You often feel as if you have to justify yourself. Yes, strongly agree. This is mostly coming from back when I had a speech impediment quite heavily. I still have a speech impediment. If you knew me in real life, you would probably go, yeah, he's not lying. But talking to a microphone is very different. There's a reason why people say I have a announcer voice when I'm normally talking, and that's because every single word I have to focus on so much in order not to trip over words, and there's also words I simply avoid, which makes weird sentence structure, but either way, I'm still very paranoid about it, so I constantly have to explain every mistake I make when I'm talking. I try not to, but it's one of those character flaws. Your home and work environments are quite okay. Well, that's a strong disagree, and continue. No, they're not. They never have been and never will be. You do not mind being the centre of attention. I don't particularly like it in real life. I don't like holding the floor, but sometimes I do. I'm not terribly shy in that way. So I don't mind it. I've got more used to it over the years, so I'm actually going to put this as a medium agree. I actually had a few people recognize me recently, weirdly enough, at a subway. I have no idea how it happened, but it did. And I ended up talking to them for like 5-6 minutes whilst waiting for food, and I was just talking to them about random rubbish, so I'm getting better at it. You consider yourself to be more practical than creative, yes, I would agree strongly there. People can rarely upset you, highly agree. I have a remarkably thick skin. Being overweight and having a speech impediment for all of my life, yeah, you kinda get a very thick skin very fast, otherwise it's a pretty bad life. Your travel plans are usually well thought out. Yes, I can't stand plans, especially with travel, if I don't know every detail. I just can't stand it. It is often difficult for you to relate to other people's feelings. I would only mildly disagree here. I have been accused of being a bit obtuse in that regard in the past. So, what I should have said is slightly agree there. It's often difficult. I don't know that I'm not too bad. I'm just a bit slow sometimes to realise that, for instance, if someone is upset around me, it may take me a little while to realise they're upset, but not massively. I'm just not good at reading people, that's my issue. So I'm going to put that there. But of course this is relating though, so it's not so much understanding that they're upset, so I can relate to people. No, I'm fine. That's me misunderstanding the question. Are you a derp? Strongly agree. Your mood can change very quickly. I find that this is true, especially if I've been listening to music or something. Music has the ability to instantly alter my mood, so medium agree. In a discussion, truth should be more important than people's sensitivities. Hells to the yes, 100% correct there. There we are. That wasn't on the screen because my screen capture is being a bit weird. I'm sorry if that happened in the past and I just literally had to read it and you didn't see it. You rarely worry about how your actions affect other people. No, I would disagree with that. In fact, I'd say normally I'm a bit too paranoid about that, so that's definitely not the case. Your work style is closer to random energy spikes than a methodical and organised approach. Well, it's normally methodical, but yes, with the energy spike thing, 100%. You are often envious of others. Yes, to a degree. Since you want to be honest here, mild, yes. It's normally not an envious in quite an aggressive way. It's more, I always feel like I could be doing better, especially with speaking or editing or making of videos and such, and I see someone else, for instance Avok, who has always been a massive inspiration to me, and one of the reasons why I even started YouTube in the first place, the glorious Welsh bugger. And I listen to him talk, and I'm just like, I need to do something like that more, and you become envious in that way, so almost in a respectful way. Very rarely about, like, money or stuff like that. I very rarely care about anything like that, so yeah, mild yes. An interesting book or video game is often better than a social event. Yes! I love social events. I love my family. I love my friends, who I am very thankful to have very good friends, but social events are very draining to me. I love them when I really am in the mood for it, but the thing is, a video game or a book, I can just play or read at any time. I don't need to be in a specific mood for that. Being able to develop a plan and stick to it is the most important part of every project. I do like plans, but I also understand the need for spontaneity, but mild agree. Yeah, mild agree. A plan is important, but not overly so. You rarely get carried away by fantasies and ideas. No, disagree strongly, I always do. You often find yourself lost in thought when you are walking in nature. Strongly agree. Where I grew up, I basically lived on the very edge of a forest, and I took a lot of nature walks with our old dogs and with our current dog. And yeah, I could just walk for hours and kind of forget where I am at. If someone does not respond to your email quickly, you start worrying. No, mostly because I don't respond quickly, so I'm very accustomed to that. As a parent, you would rather see your child grow up kind than smart. Oh. This is the first one I'm actually not too sure about. Intelligence versus kindness. The heart versus the brain and all that good stuff. Question mark. I would say I would put slightly more stock in intelligence, but not by a long shot. I wouldn't want a cruel, intelligent child, but I wouldn't want such a kind-hearted child that they would be taken advantage of. So, very mildly disagree, or neutral for this one. Very mildly disagree. Very, very mildly. You do not let other people influence your actions. I'll say strongly disagree, honestly. I'm a caterer to people's whims from time to time, especially with YouTube and how my content is shaped. I like listening to people's opinions, people's ideas, and I'm very open to change in that way. So, my actions are influenced, and very heavily influenced by my friends, family, and such. So, I'm gonna say medium disagree, honestly. Your dreams tend to focus on the real world and its events. Now, when it says dreams, does that mean really your dreams or your aspirations? If it means real dreams, then strongly disagree. If it means my goals and such, I'm fairly down to earth with that kind of stuff, so I'm going to go with taking it as a real dream, which means mild to medium disagree. There we are. Let's just move that up. There we are, so we can actually see what's going on. It does not take you much time to start getting involved in social activities at your new workplace. I actually struggled with that a lot in my first job. My first job was what was the full, there's a full title, but essentially it was lab technician, but a slightly higher than bottom lab technician, so yeah, I did not meld well with people there at all. My second and third job, extremely well, but that one particular job, I don't know what it was, but I really struggled. And I think it was a matter of, it was my first job, so I was still trying to get used to having a job, but most importantly, it was, no one came up to me. Everyone was socially awkward there, so it kind of just was a giant feedback loop. Working as a mechanic, it was almost instantly I was involved in everything, so I'm gonna say agree, because 2 out of 3 jobs, it was incredibly quick. Only one was it actually a bit awkward, and I feel like I would have never been particularly good friends with those people anyway, so yeah. You are more a natural improviser than a careful planner. I wish I was, but no, I like to carefully plan, so massively disagree there. Your emotions control you more than you control them. No, I would say I'm quite well-rounded again in terms of, like, emotional stability. Although I do suffer from chronic depression, as I have spoke about in a more serious way before, that's in very short bursts. It was a big issue in my early teens, but since then I've had major control over it, only 2, let's say, outbreaks of depression since then, and one of them being particularly bad and lasting about a month, one being significantly more mild. Still got some antidepressants in the cupboard, which is always fun, but no, not on a day-to-day basis. I find I can kind of look past that. I bottle up my emotions too much, maybe, so I'm going to say medium disagree. You enjoy going to social events that involve dress-up or role-play activities. I used to do Dungeons and Dragons back in university and stuff, so dress-up, not so much. I've never cosplayed or anything like that. Roleplay activities, yes, in the literal sense there. So, yeah, I do enjoy it. So, strongly agree. I did Dungeons and Dragons for quite some time. So what's next? You often spend time exploring unrealistic and impractical yet intriguing ideas. You often spend time exploring unrealistic and impractical yet... yeah, but no, but mostly no. Honestly, I would see it as a waste of time and slowly force myself to stop, so medium no there. You would rather improvise than spend time coming up with a detailed plan. I would rather do that, but it never works out, so it stresses me out, so I end up doing the plan. So, nope, strongly disagree. Very, very strongly disagree there. You are a relatively reserved and quiet person. Depends how much beer I've had, but also depends on my company. I would say on average, very mildly agree. I'm probably quieter than the average person, but not by a long shot. If you had a business, you would find it very difficult to fire loyal but underperforming employees. Agree strongly. I wish I would have the more logical outlook on that, but the chance... yeah, I would just feel really, really bad really, really quickly. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence. We are here to make our own reason for living. We are here to exist because we want to exist. The will to live is the reason for life. So, not really. You could go far deeper into it and actually argue points there, but I think that's a bit too deep for me. As soon as it starts getting into that kind of stuff, all I can think of is every human is here, and we all decide our own fate, our own path to follow, our own main goals. There is a reason for your own existence, and only you can find it, so go and find it, you lazy bugger. So, no, strongly disagree with that. Logic is usually more important than heart when it comes to making important decisions. Yes. Massively yes. Keeping your options open is more important than having a to-do list. Yeah, I would mildly agree with that. I would say it's more important. I personally would end up doing the to-do list, but... yeah, that's the thing though, it's what I would do, so no, I would end up going for the to-do list, but I do try my best to go down that route. If your friend is sad about something, you are more likely to offer emotional support and suggest ways to deal with the problem. I actually probably would. I don't like butting in when people are having issues. I don't like trying to sway them one way or the other. I tend to try and support their choices, at least. That's kind of what I've learned to do over the years. So I would probably suggest... there's the thing, I would suggest ways to deal with the problem, in my opinion, if they were really stuck and actually needed that sort of support, but my first instinct would be to just be there for them, so medium agree there. You rarely feel insecure. As the years have gone by, mildly agree. If you asked me this 5 years ago, I would be somewhere over here. You have no difficulties coming up with... Yay, dyslexia. You have no difficulties coming up with a personal timetable and sticking to it. Oh, that's true. That's completely true. I can definitely stick to it. Being right is more important than being cooperative when it comes to teamwork. Well, here's the thing. If you're being cooperative, but you're doing it wrong, then you are helping the group go towards the wrong solution. So I would say it's more important to be right in the sense of being cooperative. Or is this more of an issue of there's two people both saying that they should do the group activity in this particular way? Both of them can be right, but only one of them can be chosen. So it's more important to just get along with it and just do it, rather than definitely being correct. I would try to trust myself, so I'm actually going to say medium agree there. Being right is very important when it comes to teamwork, even if others have to be wrong. You think that everyone's views should be respected regardless whether they are supported by facts or not. That is such a situational question, it sort of hurts. Now, from a purely scientific standpoint, which is where I have my training, where I have my degrees, and where I have most of my life actually spent, no. No, no, no. You need the facts. But I'm going to say a little bit less, just because there are situations where you do need to venture into that sort of territory, so I wouldn't say 100% there. You feel more energetic after spending time with a group of people. No, I feel dead. It's very, very taxing on me. Oh, but at the same time, I do feel... here's the thing, I feel happier after being with friends. That's why I still see them at least once a week, my main group of friends, but I'm not more energetic, certainly. If there's any way I need to get to sleep, I'll just make sure to speak to my friends for a long time. As lovely as they are, if they are listening, you know who you are. So, I'm really happy afterwards, so sometimes I'm a bit more energetic. You frequently misplace your things. Strongly agree. Strongly agree, 100% there. You see yourself as very emotionally stable, even with the whole depression thing. I'm going to say medium agree there, because it just takes so long for my emotions to swap. Your mind is always buzzing with unexplored ideas and plans. I will agree there. I like plans, I like schemes and ideas, so you would not call yourself a dreamer. Mild disagree. I would say I like imagining the world in different ways. I like trying to be at least a little bit creative. There's the thing, I don't think I am creative, but I tend to think very creatively, if that makes any sense. It makes some sense to me, at least. I try my best to be like that, so I like dreaming about the world. I like considering the world and how it is. So, yeah, I would say I'm a dreamer in some way. You usually find it difficult to relax when talking in front of many people. That's a very similar question as before. It depends, again, if I'm close to people, I can just waffle on and be the arbiter of the speech for quite a while, but if it's strangers, and that's a different story completely. So, I'm gonna have to say a neutral there, because it is so completely polarized depending on who I'm with, because I have done speeches, and I've actually done a lecture at university in front of 80 people, I think it was, with absolutely no trouble, but at the same time, I have spoke to a few strangers before, and I've had some real difficulty just not relaxed at all, just every word, just considering, so I would say on average, no. I do relax okay talking to people, but I can't say any more than that. I just don't want to give any neutral answers, so slightly disagree with that. Generally speaking, you rely more on your experience than your imagination. Yeah, I'll agree with that. You worry too much about what other people think. Yes, I do. I am, like I say, I can be self-conscious and yet very thick-skinned. I'm a weird enigma of a person when it comes to that kind of stuff. So maybe a bit less then. I've got better over the years. It's mostly just like some key features like my speech. So naturally I speak for a living. Yeah, mild, okay. Next. Oh, this is the last one now. After this, there are the results. It's been 20 minutes, seriously? I've got like 8 minutes and then my landlord's coming over. How wonderful. If the room is full, you stay closer to the walls, avoiding the center. I will agree with that. I hate being in the center of like a room of people. So I actually do agree there. You have a tendency to procrastinate until there is not enough time to do everything. I learnt the hard way during college this is not the way to do things, so that's not true anymore. Used to be, isn't anymore. You feel very anxious in stressful situation. Well, if you're in a stressful situation, isn't that by definition that it's your stressful situation, therefore you are stressed? Mildly disagree. I'm pretty good at my stress these days, especially when it comes to things like, you only have 1 week to hand in this essay talking about the beanstalk and how it wasn't actually real in Jack and the Beanstalk. You believe that it is more rewarding. I have no idea what I was talking about then, by the way. As you can tell, I'm very tired. It's currently 6 a.m. That's right, it's 6 a.m. My landlord's coming over at 10 past. Yay for that. Well, 2 past 6. You get the idea. You believe that it is more rewarding to be liked by others than to be powerful. Okay, I would like a little bit of power, gotta be honest there. But I do like being liked. Both of these things are kind of vain. Power or adoration? I think I would rather have power to a very mild degree. But, oh no, I wouldn't want power at the expense of people liking me. In the same way that I wouldn't want money at the expense of others, so I would say very mildly, I would rather be liked than to be powerful. Very mildly. Unless you're looking at my recent From the Depths playthrough. You have always been interested in unconventional and ambiguous things, e.g. in books, art, and movies. Not... yes, no, a little bit. I mean, when it comes to books and stuff, even from an early age, I had a fascination with insects and microbiology-related things. I think one of the first books I remember reading as a youngster about disease was something like A Practical Guide to Viruses, and it was this mini journal paper. Well, it was a long journal paper condensed into a small pamphlet almost style book. And I remember reading that when I was like 6 or 7 or 8 in that kind of region. So, yes, in a way. I mean, I don't like a lot of the more trending things in life, not to the extent of hipster status, but certainly, yeah, I'd say I'll agree there, medium. You often take initiative in social situations. No. Medium no there. Again, I'm fine in social situations, but I'm normally not the person to start the thing. Okay, so I am an architect, which is int-A. So, in mind, I am introverted, 61%, extroverted, 39%. In energy, I am more intuitive than observant, which I don't fully agree with there, but okay. Nature. This trait determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions. I think more than I feel, very minorly. I am really down the middle for most of these things. Tactics. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision-making. I judge more than I prospect. Okay. And in terms of identity, I am slightly more assertive than I am turbulent. This trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions. And now we wait. With this lovely little picture there. So, yeah, there we go. Naturally, I almost missed this entire section here, which explains what an architect personality actually is. So, it's lonely at the top, and being one of the rarest and most strategically capable personality types, architects know this all too well. Architects form just 2% of the population, and women of this personality type are especially rare, forming just 0.8% of the population. It is often a challenge for them to find like-minded individuals who are able to keep up with their relentless intellectualism, that's such a silly word, and chess-like maneuvering. Because we all like to play 4D chess, let's face it, people with the architect personality type are imaginative yet decisive, ambitious yet private, amazingly curious, but they do not squander their energy. I really feel like all of these are going to speak very positively to the one you've just essentially won, to the one you've been selected for. Nothing can stop the right attitude from achieving its goal. With a natural thirst for knowledge that shows itself early in life, architects are often given the title bookworm as children. That is very true for me. While this may be intended as an insult by their peers, they more than likely identify with it and are even proud of it. Greatly enjoying their broad and deep body of knowledge, architects enjoy sharing what they know as well, confident in their mastery of their chosen subjects, but they prefer to design and execute a brilliant plan within their field rather than share opinions on uninteresting distractions like gossip. Well, that last bit's true at least. A paradox to most observers, architects are able to live by glaring contradictions that nonetheless make perfect sense. Okay, I like that line. At least from a purely rational perspective. Okay, there's way more you can read. You can look at any of that. There will be a link, like I say, to the main site in the description if you would like to do one of these personality tests yourself. I hope you found it at least somewhat interesting, so if you have, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that random videos like this aren't something which you're completely against. And don't worry, there will be a brand new From the Depths video before the end of the weekend, and right now, I'm in a rush, my landlord's about to arrive at any moment, and I need to go and get ready. So, thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely weekend if I don't see you before. Goodbye.